and 12 people died on the 4th of February when a bomb exploded on a coach on the M62.
The coach was transporting soldiers to Catterick Camp in Yorkshire after weekend leave.
When I got on the bus, I was probably sat about the second row down from the back of the coach. I had a friend that was on the coach, Stephen Worley, who was sat probably midway from the front. During the journey, Stephen wanted to swap places with me, as he wanted to talk to another chap that he knew. So I swapped places with Stephen. We'd just passed the Bradford turning, and I remember Barry Manilow's Mandy being on the radio at the time. There was a sort of a whoosh noise. It wasn't like an explosion, it was like a whoosh. The coach swerved. At this time I didn't know what had happened, and the driver had actually got the coach onto the hard shoulder. And when I looked back, the seat behind me was actually hanging down, and the rest of the coach was disappeared.
Philip's friend, 18-year-old Stephen Worley, was killed, along with 11 others, including 2 young children.
It was apparent that it wasn't a fault with the coach. We knew that a bomb had been planted, and we knew who planted it, that it was the IRA.
This afternoon, a passenger on the coach described what happened.
Well, we got onto the motorway, onto the M62, and we'd been going about 5 minutes, and I stooped to light a cigarette, and it was just as if the windscreen had gone through. And then I realised that I was on the ground, on the deck of the bus, and things were coming from behind me rather than in front of me. And I looked up and saw the driver with a slight amount of blood on his face, and he managed to keep control of the bus and take it into the edge.
And what was the general scene on the bus at this time?
Well, bits of luggage were being blown forward, and seats and things like this. I couldn't actually see behind me. At that time, I was sort of on the floor looking up towards the driver and out towards the front of the bus.
And how did you actually get out?
Once we'd stopped, I tried the door, but it obviously been walked by the impact. So 2 or 3 of us climbed out through the windscreen, including the driver.
Much more difficult for us. Information is less likely to come forward voluntarily, and it is therefore very, very important that we get all the cooperation we can from the general public.
I mean, you think people may be intimidated because a terrorist organisation is involved?
I think they may be afraid to come forward in case of intimidation.